Happy Hump Day, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Prime Sports World. This time, we're bringing you a little bit of breaking news, insider information. Prime Sports World planned to take the day off, but then the NFL decided, nah, Prime Sports World, you don't get a day off. You continue to cover because we're going to have breaking news every day. It seems like in the National Football League. So we're back to bringing you another episode. I'm with David Hubbard right there, Mr. Israel Rivera, CEO of Prime Sports World. Thank
What's
you
up?
very much for joining us. We go live 4 or 5 times a week, bringing the most up-to-date content on Facebook, on YouTube, and now on Twitter as well. So under PSW David. Continue checking us out over there. I also want to thank our friends over there at Rouge Bear for sponsoring us here at Prime Sports World. Let your presence be felt. Go check out their spring collection. I'll have the link to their website, our Facebook page, along with the NFL Supreme Facebook page as well. And the breaking news, of course, is that Todd Bowles is stepping down as the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He will be taking a new role as a senior football consultant, also with Tampa Bay. So Bruce
Bruce
Arians went.
Arians, you mean?
What did I say?
You said Todd Bowles.
Oh, yeah, my bad. A little time. Bruce Arians went 31-18 in 3 seasons with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, including a Super Bowl victory in 2020. Defensive coordinator Todd Bowles will take over as head coach. Fun fact: this change will make 10 teams will have new head coaches this coming up in season. This is the most since 2008, 2009, when 11 new guys started head coaching jobs in the National Football League. What
That's
do we think
crazy,
about
man.
like?
Yeah, no, that's crazy that the landscape has changed. We always talk about every year coaches on the
It's
hot
basically a
seat.
third of the league.
Yeah, that is a third. That's literally a third of the league has changed their head coach, their head ball coach. And I think in this case, I think you don't lose much, right? You're getting Brady back. Uh, you're bringing back, a lot of a lot of players. I pretty much are going to say that Tampa's going to be maybe the favorite in the NFC, possibly.
I
Um,
mean, potentially. I mean, nobody else in
Potentially.
the NFC, not everybody, nobody else in the NFC has gotten considerably better. So,
Right.
you
We
know,
don't know what the Ram situation is, but with everything happening with Aaron Donald and you know Von Miller or whatever. But anyways, Todd Bowles is a good. He used to be a head coach before. I thought maybe Byron Leftwich, but it's kind of hard to choose an offensive coordinator with no head coaching experience over your defensive coordinator that actually was a head coach in the league.
yeah,
You know what
I
I'm
agree with
saying?
you on that. I agree with you
Yeah.
on that. And not to mention, I mean, Todd Bowles had more of a because Bruce Arians did most of the play calling for the offense, I think, anyways. So,
Yeah, and so him being moving to the front office, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how this came about. Honestly, I mean,
I'm shocked to be honest with you.
me too.
I did not expect like as long as Tom Brady was the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I just assumed that Bruce Arians was just going to ride with the ship, and then whenever Tom Brady actually retired,
He's gonna
Bruce
retire.
Bruce Arians will retire as well. Like I'm pretty shocked to be honest with you. On a scale of 1 to 10, when it comes to my shock level, I'm like a 10.
Me too. I'm like a
I
10. I did not
I did
expect this.
I did not see this coming at all. Like I thought for sure I'd have a day off and like we'd have to run a show and we'd be able to like drink mai tais on the beach, but no mai tais and no beach and raining galore is what we get instead. And we breaking news in the NFL because the NFL just won't stop. They won't stop breaking news. Like it's unbelievable. Like literally every week there's something new that breaks. What do you think happened to like why all of a sudden like in the middle of free agency like you have players that are re-signing with this team based on the fact that Bruce
Tom
Arians.
Brady's coming back.
But you also Bruce Arians must have been on some of those player meetings. I mean when they brought Russell Gage in there, do you think Russell Gage thought that Bruce Arians was going to be the head coach of this team when he got there? Probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Like
but I don't think much changes though. See, that's what I'm saying though. I don't think much changes in terms because Bruce Arians is still in the building. He's still gonna probably work with the players, and Todd Bowles knows all the players, and Byron Leftwich knows all the players too. So I don't think much is gonna change there in terms of leadership.
and then they basically just invented a football position for him. Like, all right, like what is going to call you the senior football consultant? What does that even mean?
Yeah,
What is
that's
it? What?
basically yeah, they basically created a job for him.
Yeah,
In the front
like
office.
I'm pretty shocked. Like I did not see this coming. The timing is interesting. Like, why now? Like, if you knew you were gonna step down, why not do this? Months ago, like when everybody like when like Tom Brady first retired. Like, what if Tom Brady hadn't come back? Do you retire? You still step away?
Well, TJ makes a good point. He is 69, so Bruce Arians is a little on the older side. I think he might be like what the second oldest head coach in the league.
Yeah,
That was next to Pete Carroll, right?
yeah.
And maybe Belichick, maybe I don't know, but
I don't know. Let me see how old Bill Belichick is.
I don't think Belichick's that old. He's 69. That's old. That's pretty old. So yeah, he might be tired, but at the same time, I just think I just think maybe
Belichick's 69 years old. They're the same age.
he's 69 years old too, so he's tied with him. Yeah, so I just think that maybe I don't know, because there's mixed reports saying that Tom Brady, retired because he had conflicts with Bruce Arians.
Well,
He
I
didn't
mean, even remember when the first season that they were together, like they always kind of thought if this season didn't go well, that Bruce Arians would be the one that kind of gets the bulk of the blame. And
Yeah.
they ended up winning the Super Bowl, so that ended up not transpiring. But I mean, maybe this is
Oh
part
man.
of the.
Well, remember that first season Tom Brady was there, and every time they lost, Bruce Arians would put the blame on his Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that, and they won the Super Bowl, but I think a lot of that sour bad that bad taste kind of stayed in Brady's mouth. And I think Brady was like, you know what, I'm out of here. I'm retired. I ain't got nothing else to prove. Everybody's pretty much. I mean, it's gonna be hard to bring everybody back. I don't know if we could run it back and do it again. And uh, I think he looked at like I'm in my opinion. I don't know because I'm not in the front office. I'm not in the locker room. But if those rumors are true, I mean, he's probably like, I can't work with this guy. This guy was bad mouth with me my first year. The second year, he was just, we just weren't on the same page. I just don't want to be this guy. I don't want to be the quarterback for this guy. And I think, him retiring, I think he was able to convince Brady to come back for the organization or somewhat. And I think the ultimatum was like, you got to step down as a head coach. But we're not going to say that.
I mean, I'm thinking that too, and like it would have been extremely suspicious if it had happened like the same day. Like all of a sudden, Tom Brady comes back and Bruce Arians is gone. Like, no, you wait a few weeks on this. You wait, let it simmer, and then like when people forget about the Tom Brady's back and like the narrative's kind of dead. All of a sudden, Bruce Arians needs to step away. He needs to step down.
And I don't think it. I think it goes further than Tom Brady. I think some of the players on the team don't gel with Bruce Arians. I mean, remember he slapped the player in the middle of the game. I know it was on the helmet, but still, that's a grown man. You kind of slapping. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like there's just certain things. I just think maybe some of his players aren't really too receptive to him on Tampa Bay, and I think it was my probably a collective decision. Like, hey, we'll keep you around. I mean, you're an important part of the organization. We'll put you in the front office, but you're gonna have to step down as head coach if Tom wants to play here. That's just as simple as that.
We are wildly speculating, by the way. So anybody don't take any of this.
Speculating.
Don't take any of this as fact, because we're just kind of like, I just find the timing to be wildly interesting. I just don't really understand. Yeah, so like Todd Bowles is in a good place. Like his last head coaching job was in New York with the Jets. Like that was not a good position, a good job to get. This is a scenario where this is the team that's ready to win now. This is the team that goes into with Super Bowl expectations, and you got to rise up now, because people are expecting a Super Bowl.
Yeah, this is a position for Todd Bowles, where this is a spot where a lot of head coaches, man. I mean, this is a great position for him to get a Super Bowl under his belt. I mean, and to lead a team to the championship. I
think you cut out a little bit there, Izzy, towards the end of that, whatever your point was. You just broke up a little bit, man. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I think if you're Todd Bowles, you got to love this opportunity. You got to love that it was handed to you. You got to love that the fact that this is the job you're going to have, and you're going to have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl your first year as a head coach at this new team. Like,
exactly. Awesome. Exactly. It's a slam dunk for Todd Bowles. I mean, like I said, you got coaches that have been defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators, head coaches for years and years and years, and never have an opportunity to have a Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback at least for a year or two to possibly
I
win a
love how you
Super
just
Bowl.
slip in Aaron Rodgers there.
Yeah. You know, I had to. I had to.
I mean,
I
you've
could
been
have used
pretty.
anybody else.
I mean, you've been pretty absent when it comes to like we were talking about Devontae Adams and all the other shows we were doing, all breaking all that stuff.
Yeah. No, I talked about the Devontae Adams. Don't do me like that. Don't do
That's
me
cool.
like
You did.
that.
Yeah, you were on the show. But yeah, no. I don't know. I just the timing is just. I would love to have known what transpired. Like all of a sudden he's just like because this seems like a decision you'd make like when free agency first started, when the off season first started. You kind of decide, yeah, I guess I'm going to
Hmm.
step down. Like this doesn't seem like a decision you make a month in, 2 months in. Like we're already kind of getting
Just before the draft.
getting ready for the draft too. Like it just
Hmm.
doesn't make a lot of sense, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I think him moving up to the front office. I think literally he's still gonna have something to say so in terms of what players are drafted in the draft. I don't think he's not gonna. They're gonna like cut him off on that.
I don't think
But
so either.
yeah, but yeah, it is odd and weird that the draft is coming up and you step down as head coach, to take a front office gig. I just find it weird. I just wonder what the explanation is. I know it's pretty fairly new, but I'm sure it's probably going to be along the lines of maybe health reasons, possibly. He'll come up with something, maybe.
I mean, he released a statement, and like it doesn't go into like a lot of depth. And it is the full statement on Wednesday. He spent most of the last 50 years of his life on the sidelines as a football coach in one form or another. Today, I made the decision to move from the sidelines into another role in the Buccaneers front office. I love football. I love the relationship. I love the strategy. I love the competition. Everything. It has been one hell of a ride, but I know this is the right time for me to make this transition. Also joining us here on the show, DJ Hopkins. Yeah, we're just talking about the Bruce Arians decision. So I'm reading a little more of his statement. So he goes on to say, why? So why now? The simple answer is that I've accomplished more than I ever dreamed. I could during this incredible coaching journey win a Super Bowl. I think that's 55 at our home stadium with my mom and my family in attendance. Really, the last item I wanted to check off my career bucket list. From here, this is more than just trying to add more wins to my coaching record. This team is a much better place than it was 3 years ago. To Jason and Glazer's family commitment to winning. Before you start thinking this is about my health, don't. This is the best I've felt in many years. I'm looking forward to helping this team continue to win my new role. And then Todd Bowles obviously their place goes on to just have some nice things to say about Todd Bowles. Welcome to the show, TJ. What's up, man?
What's up, Izzy?
Yo, yeah, no, what's good? What's going on, TJ? So, wow, nice. Got a lot of viewers here. What's going on, everybody? Anyways, that statement right there kind of exemplifies what TJ said earlier. He's 69 and the man's just tired. And the grind of being a head coach, getting up. I mean, you got to get up early anyways as a front office guy. But just that grind of dealing with 52
Do you
players.
really know? Do you really know what kind of hours front office guys keep?
I'm sure they're in the office. TJ, I'm sure they're in the building at 5, 6 in the morning.
No, they're
Personnel.
for sure not.
You don't think
I don't.
front office people
I
5, 6 in the morning?
I don't know.
I don't know either,
I
but
don't know.
I've never been one. But I'm
If
just saying,
I was
the
a betting
stress.
man, which I am 100% not, I would say no. I would say they would probably, they work until like the late hours of the night, and then they go into work a little bit later. Like I could see them watching film
What?
and watching like stuff until like 2, 3 in the morning, and then rolling in at 10. But
I honestly I don't know. I think it
Yeah.
depends. I think that right there depends on the front
who
office
it,
person. Yeah, I think that
I probably
depends on
agree with you
who
on
it
that.
is.
Hmm.
But
I would think the
him,
GM is probably in there early as hell. But
I,
But
I
president of
don't
football operations probably in there super early too. What do you?
like.
So TJ, we all kind of me and Izzy both found the timing of this awfully interesting. Are you in that boat with me, or you think this is just something that was going to happen at some point, or like I just find this timing to be interesting. Interesting is the word I'm going to use.
Nothing surprises me anymore with the NFL. Yeah, I just think it was just one of those things that was it was one of those things that was coming. Like he had two successors to choose from because those two guys just can't get jobs elsewhere for whatever reason. We all thought Leftwich was going to be the head coach of the Jags, and what was discovered was the Cons and whoever else calls themselves a owner of the Jags. They're like, we're gonna hire you, Byron Leftwich, but we're gonna pick your staff. And Byron Leftwich was like, no. What coach anywhere does like allows that to happen? Like if I'm gonna coach, let me pick my staff. And he he subsequently removed himself from that job position and went back to Tampa. Like I said in the comments, man, 69 years old. You get tired. Like he's done all that he's had to do. Like he made a name for himself in Pittsburgh. I think he was the offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh. He
I mean,
bounced.
he was coach in college. I mean, he's literally done. You name it, he's done it. College football, pro football. Like he's been basically awesome. Basically, he's
So
probably a Hall of Famer.
yeah, like there's nothing else for like in 3 seasons he went 31-18. Before he got there, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were a joke. They were a joke. Like they were not something that we as a football crowd took serious because it was too much up and down. It was one week they looked great and Jameis Winston looked great. Like Jameis Winston looked like the first overall pick that they thought he would look like. And then the next week it'd be, are we sure that that's the right guy that they? Are we sure that's the guy that went first overall?
We get like from series to series. It seemed like that we had to always ask questions about Jameis Winston. Like some series he looked like second coming. The next series he looked like not the second coming. So I can't think of
Again, like he's the first QB to go 30 for 30 touchdowns, 30 picks. Like like that's not the recipe for victory. And there's just the subsequent years before that, right? You go 2-14, which landed you the first overall pick, which got Jameis Winston to you. Like you were a joke of a franchise. You go from a joke of a franchise to winning the Super Bowl in your home crowd.
First team to ever do it.
And like in like a 6-year span. Like that's crazy. Because like the talent was, and it was him. It was hiring a Byron Leftwich. It was bringing in a Todd Bowles who got unceremoniously dumped from the Jets. And it was signing guys that were quote unquote cast offs elsewhere. And Dominican Sue couldn't find it. Like he bounced around once he left Detroit. Right? And getting Antonio Brown off the scrap heap. Get what's his name? Scotty, like finding gems like Scotty Miller, dudes like that, bringing Gronk out of retirement because OJ Howard hasn't progressed to where they needed him to be. Like it's stuff like that. So this new role that they gave him, that they quote unquote made up for him, senior football consultant.
It feels like they just invented some. Like, hey, we don't want you to go, but we don't really know what. Here's your role. Here it is.
So TJ, I brought up the Tom Brady thing from the first year to now. So I brought up the fact I wasn't hearing you guys. I was sharing the podcast, but I brought up the fact that every loss that first year where they won the Super Bowl, he was always putting the blame on Brady.
Okay.
Every loss, right? And then.
Okay.
I think that was a little bit of a bad sour taste in Brady's mouth as to why he retired. And I think that second year, I think him and probably some of the team were kind of not taking a liking to Bruce Arians. I think they were pretty much done with him, and I think that's why Brady retired. Why AB left in the middle of the game? He's got some other issues probably, but
for sure has some other issues.
Yeah, and then I look at the retirement from Brady, and you hear the rumors of him and Arians not on the same page, and then him coming back, and then literally, what is it, like a week and a half later, Arians ain't the head coach no more.
Well, it's a little bit
That's
more than a week
It's
and
been
a
like a month.
half.
It's been like
like
a
a
month.
month.
But
Yeah, like
I
a
would
month.
think I made the argument that it would have been super suspicious as if Bruce Arians had retired like the same day as Tom Brady unretired. Like it would have been like,
Is that like
oh,
Right.
when did
Then,
Tom Brady retired like 3 weeks ago, right? Like three,
that
four
would
weeks
have
ago, right?
been like
but
today
like
was
if you want to sweep it under the rug so nobody notices, have
right
Bruce
to
Arians retire a couple weeks after Tom Brady unretires. Nobody will
Right.
connect the dots.
Right, to David's point, like for him, like it would have been super suspicious if he retired, if Brady retires or unretires, and he's like, you know what, and I'm out of here. But Izzy, to your point, I feel like if more players would have spoke out and voiced some kind of frustration, then I think then your claim would hold merit. Like if Brady came out, because Brady is the first one to say whenever they lose, whenever a Tom Brady team loses, he's the first one to say I have to play better. Right? Tom Brady, he could throw for 400 yards, miss like 3 passes, and he would like point out the 3 passes that he missed. Like I got to hit those passes. Like that's the kind of player Tom Brady is. As far as Bruce Arians pointing like calling him out whenever they lose, yeah, you're the quarterback. It starts and ends with you. You want all the praise when you win. You gotta take the criticism
Ooh.
when you lose.
Okay,
So
I understand that with a guy like Matt Ryan or something, or Jimmy Garoppolo. But Tom Brady, Tom Brady,
no.
he's
I
won
mean,
So
seven Super
if you're the
Bowls.
goat, if you're the goat of your sport, I mean, you're definitely held to a higher standard. I mean,
like, thank you.
I'm not calling this person the goat of his sport, but LeBron James is for sure held to a higher standard than your run of the mill NBA player. Like LeBron James, like like level standard for LeBron James is like you know, way
Yeah,
up
but
here.
you don't see Frank Vogel coming in the press conference blaming LeBron for losses.
Cause
Yeah,
He
because
Frank Vogel get his ass fired.
yeah,
That's why.
so that's my point. Bruce Arians after a loss was always blaming Brady. So I just thought that
Cause
maybe this conversation came out.
Bruce Arians
I mean,
had
Bruce
that
Arians has got
cachet
cachet. I mean, he's been a Super Bowl champion even as an assistant. Like he
as
Assistant.
an
has
assistant.
cachet. But there was all the speculation that like if hey, if this Tampa Bay team doesn't win a Super Bowl this first
He's
Bruce Arians, he's
he
probably gonna
doesn't
get
have
fired.
cachet over Bill, and
Yeah, of course not. Bill Belichick almost never threw Tom outside of the like spot of the Gate. He almost never threw Tom Brady under the bus. He never like
never
never.
threw him under the bus. So
But he
But you know,
did.
I
He
personally
didn't
think this.
he didn't throw him under the bus, but he did like what Super Bowl was it like? What Brady had to play with the like he had that nasty gash in his hand, like he cut his hand, and then he played in the Super Bowl. Like he messed, like he had a cut on his hand, and Bruce and what's his name and Bill Belichick was like, well, it's just a cut on the hand. It's not like it was open heart surgery. But according to Tom Brady, like that was he almost missed the Super Bowl because of that,
that shit
right?
that has to hurt.
That
A gash on
happened.
your head? What?
Like he had to get stitches on that, like that. So
That
while
happened
Bill,
in 2016
okay,
after he cut
That
his
was the
thumb with
Falcons
scissors.
game.
yeah, it was a they played Jacksonville that was a Jacksonville AFC Championship game, right?
Oh my gosh. I didn't know he played with a big gash in his hand. That
Yeah,
has to suck.
he had a cut
Yeah,
in
it
it,
had like
like
a huge
yeah.
bandage on it. Yeah, I remember that.
That's
So
I
crazy.
think it was healed by the Super Bowl though.
But like I
so
said, man, like if you guys saying Bruce Arians got cachet, I
he
understand
do.
that, but it just I understand he has cachet. He's a Super Bowl champ before he 2-time Super Bowl champ as assistant as a head coach. But when you throwing damn near the goat under the bus when they lose, in your first year, I think that kind of stood with Tom Brady a little bit, and I think that was
And
one of the reasons why he probably retired. He
So
couldn't work with the guy
we
anymore.
also
first
want to
off,
make clear again, we are wildly speculating. We do not have insider information. We do
and
not.
first,
We're just connecting some dots that are sort of there.
and first of all, like if Tom
Because you
Brady could
remember the first season, like Bruce Arians was going to get fired if they don't win a Super Bowl, and so
facts,
maybe
Yeah,
there was some hangover from all of that from the first season. Like he got lucky enough to win the Super Bowl that nobody thought they'd
but then
win.
there's a whole bunch of stuff last season, David. The Antonio
Yeah,
Brown situation, and
no,
him
okay,
smacking his
but no,
player in the middle of
but
the game.
okay, but here's the thing. Again, if more than just those two, if more than just those two players spoke out and voiced their frustrations on Bruce Arians, right? if more than just Tom Brady, and we don't even know if Tom Brady was. This is all allegations. Like we don't know if Tom Brady on Tom Brady's part. We don't know if Brady was ever frustrated with Bruce Arians. We don't know. AB, we know for a fact that AB was frustrated with Bruce Arians, but AB having the track record that he has, loses credibility when he
Absolutely.
voices his frustration with anything. So so you got AB. If Brady has said something, if Mike Evans said something, Godwin, Gronk, Cameron Brake, the running backs, if it was a collection of those guys who came out and voiced their frustration, like, yeah, man, I'm tired of this dude, he got to go. Either he go or I go. Then your claim would have more merit.
Well,
But the fact
also
that Tom
winning,
Brady
winning
hasn't
helps
said
too.
anything.
So Tom
Winning
Brady
helps
has released a statement on Bruce Arians through his Twitter page. So he went on to say, "Thank you, BA, for all you've done for me and our team. You're an incredible man and coach. It was a privilege to play for you. You're a true NFL legend and pioneer for all the work you've done to make the league more diverse and inclusive. Smart, tough, and loyal are a few of the words to describe your style. I always remember the conversation we had when you recruited me 2 years ago, and all the things we discussed came true. We all benefited from your leadership and guidance. I'm so proud of everything we've accomplished. You were a big part of the decision to join the Buccaneers, and I'm forever grateful. I'm so happy you will spend deserved time with your loving and supportive family that has given you so much to our community. Congratulations on an amazing coaching career, but more importantly, how positively you've impacted me and everyone else in the game of football." That is a statement from Tom Brady. That sounds like as written up as it could go. Like,
That sounds like his PR guy wrote that.
That sounds like more than he said about Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick hasn't retired.
Doesn't matter. He left. He left. He left the organization. You don't say thank you. Like, come on, man. He left the organization that he no longer played. Like, that he spent 20 years at. 20 years, 6 Super Bowls. Right? Like, Bruce Arians got way more of a statement than what Bill Belichick got.
But also, to the contrary, I think Tom Brady had to make a very sentimental statement because he still got to work. He's still working for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay, you can't just trash. You're a former head ball coach who just moved to the front office. It's just a bad look on you.
No, it ain't.
In my opinion, I think it is.
But yeah, we're speculating. So we're happy for Bruce Arians. He's had a Hall of Fame career as a head coach. I'm sure he'll do a great job stepping into the front office. Whatever his role will be, like senior football consultant, whatever that means. I'm sure he'll still have some input. The timing of this, I don't know. I think if you're gonna step away, do it at right after the season.
This is what I don't hope happens, TJ. This is what I don't hope happens. Todd Bowles, they come out, say they're 2-6 or 3-6 or something.
Look at the division they play.
I don't think that'll happen. But I'm saying, say they come out the gates. I hope they don't be like, okay, we gonna put Bruce Arians back as head coach and demote you down to DC, Todd Bowles.
Yeah,
they have 6 guaranteed wins on their schedule.
First off, Bruce Arians ain't gonna even allow that to happen. All right, Bruce Arians picked him. Bruce Arians picked it. Like it's not gonna give you the Heatles in Miami struggling and then wanting Pat Riley to step down and coach the team and get Spo out of there. Like, no, Pat Riley told them Eric Spoelstra's the coach. Deal with it.
Yeah, it's not gonna be like the Stan Van Gundy situation where Stan Van Gundy wasn't cutting it, and then Gilliam was like Pat Riley. He's like, all right, I'll go work it.
All right, yeah. Pat Riley's like, I did that already. I'm not doing it again. You stick with this guy, or we'll find somewhere else for you to play. Bruce Arians picked Todd Bowles to be the successor. Handpicked Todd Bowles to be the successor.
Congratulations to Todd Bowles. It's an excellent job. Is way better than that terrible Jets job he took a few years ago.
Horrible.
I'm sure he's going to do a great job. And wish the best to Bruce Arians.
And this is without a doubt the best team he's ever had.
Oh,
top to bottom.
Yeah, 100%. DJ, let me ask.
Yes.
Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how shocked are you that this news broke now?
None. Again, nothing surprises me anymore with the NFL. Hirings, firings, trades, signings, nothing. Nothing surprises me.
The fact
Yeah,
that
when
Tyrann Matthews still faded is kind of surprising to me. I'm like a 10 on that.
I was like that this off season when okay, I understand the Devontae Adams situation, but that Tyreek Hill signing that whole Tyreek Hill trade was just out of left field. I mean, I didn't.
I literally it came out in the morning that he was unhappy, and then like 2 hours later he was out of there. Like it was like,
So I'm with TJ. I just don't know what to think about the NFL anymore. It's just so it's a crazy time right now, man. It's a season after the season. Is in the NFL season don't stop, and then when the NBA stops, that season don't stop. It's the season after the season between these two sports. It's crazy.
Sports do not stop. And probably sports world does not stop.
The question now is, what are the expectations for Todd Bowles?
Win a Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, bro.
You
There's
have Tom
no
Brady.
way that
It's
this
the same
team.
thing as like if you have LeBron James. You're expected to win it all.
You're expected to win it all, bro. I mean, and you brought back damn near everybody. You know?
There you go.
I go get Honey Badger. That's what I do.
I don't have cap room for him. Unless he's
I was gonna say,
unless he's gonna take a substantial, unless he's gonna take a
things happen.
Unless he's gonna take a substantial pay cut, I don't imagine that's gonna happen. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us as we break down the Bruce Arians stepping down. I'm David Huffman. Right there, the TJ Hopkins, CEO of Prime Sports World, joining me as well. Gentlemen, what do we do here at the Prime, my friend?
Bring the heat, ladies and gentlemen. Bring the heat.
And continue checking us out on Facebook, YouTube, and on the Twitter at PSW_David. Check us out at Prime Sports World. I'm David, of course, and I will see you guys tomorrow when we run our show. Do some draft stuff tomorrow as well. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.